What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Dylan Talks Tone. Today we are going to revisit the Hello Kitty Squier Strat because it looks like maybe last week they reissued them again in white. So I've got the pink one. Is there a black one out there maybe? And now they've got them in white, which looks pretty cool. I like white guitars. So what I wanted to do was do a couple things. One, we'll kind of run through the specs on it for those of you that don't have one yet. And maybe you're unsure because it's a little expensive, because it's a light. We'll talk about why in a minute. We'll also talk about long term. Is it good? Was it good when I got it? Is it still good now? And for those of you that get super annoyed when I talk about my own pickups in my own videos, we'll talk about the mods that we did to it as well. So before we do that, do me a favor. Hit the like and subscribe button, right? I think it's right down here somewhere. And then you can scan that thing and go to DylanTalksTone.com and buy pickups, because that's what our real job is. And then there's also the Patreon link and that sort of stuff. We will link this guitar in the description. If you want to get one quick, because I don't think there's very many of them. If you use those links, it'll help out the channel. So let's see. Squier. Hello Kitty, obviously it's a licensed product. So why do we want to bring up licensed product? Because price. These are not inexpensive for a Squier with a single pickup in it. But you also have to remember, if you look on the back of the peg head right here, it says designed and backed by Fender. But then it says Sanrio Company Limited right here, which also means that there is obviously a trademark and a licensing agreement for the design of the Hello Kitty deal. And so that is going to add to the cost. Anytime you have to pay a licensing fee for a product, that's going to add to the cost. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about, dang, this thing is expensive. So I guess the question is, first of all, do you think it's cool? Because if you think it's cool, then just buy one. But also, is it good? So let's go through the specs on it, and then I want to check a couple things that I've actually never checked on this guitar. So let's just start up here. So we've got these sort of vintage style with white button tuners, and they are the safety post tuners, which are fine. I haven't had any issues with them. They've been super tight. They've stayed tight. I've had this guitar, I don't know, whenever these pink ones came out, I bought it right away. And I really like them. The tuners have stayed tight. They've stayed nice and stable. The string tree has stayed tight. It has a synthetic bone nut, which is a 1.650 nut width, which is pretty narrow, but it's nice. It's a very easy guitar to play, and it has a very the C-shaped neck it's just very normal. 9.5-inch fretboard radius, right? So kind of middle of the road for Fender stuff. It has the red dots for fret markers and for top dots. It's got the glossy urethane finish on the back of the neck, not the matte. If you are a person who likes a matte finish, what I would suggest you could do is take some 800 wet dry sandpaper, and then that would give you a nice matte finish on the back of this neck. I've not done that, but you could do that. One of the things I want to look at in a minute after we talk about specs is frets. The fret ends on the guitar, Squiers can be kind of hit and miss with this, but these are very, very good. I've not had any fret sprout. Now we manage our humidity around here and stuff, but I've not had any fret sprout. I have not had any kind of issues with the frets. I've not checked with a fret rocker. So we're going to do that really quick. Somebody asked in the comments, because I went to YouTube and I asked a bunch of questions and made a short about it and asked a bunch of questions. And some of the folks asked about the fret quality. So we're going to check the fret quality on it, because I've not done that. I just did kind of a basic setup. What else? So the pick guard is very, very thin. FYI, if you use a pick hard, you're probably going to wear through this printing. It's like some sort of printed graphic on this pick guard. We've got a single humbucker pickup, which we'll come back to. Someone asked about the quality of the bridge. I just set the guitar up one time, which I think that's all it really needs, and it seems fine. I've not had any issues stripping any screws out. It's set up perfectly. it intonated correctly. Everything's fine. Somebody asked me in the comments on our short if you would replace this if this was one of your main guitars. My question would be, or my answer would be no. I think it is fantastic, just kind of the way it is. Somebody also asked, how hard would it be, or would it be worth it to try to put a tremolo on this guitar? I would say no, because you would have to really cut this thing up, and part of the guitar is that rear graphic. So I personally wouldn't. I would just let this guitar be what it is, and yeah, just kind of be what it is. It's pretty awesome. So I tell you what, before we get started, before I show you what I did mod-wise, let's go ahead and look at this fret quality, because this is something that somebody asked about, and I haven't actually checked it. It plays fine, but let's really check it. All right, so first things first, what we're going to do is we're going to take our Stumac straight edge, and we're going to put it straight on the center of the neck. We're going to check and see how flat the neck is. The neck needs to be totally flat before we make the adjustment. So as you can see, we've got a normal amount of neck relief here. So we're going to go ahead, and if we need to bring the center of it up, we're going to actually tighten the truss rod, and we're going to make this completely flat. All right, so that is completely flat. It took about a quarter of a turn. Quick note on straight edges. I got this Stumac one because I had been using, and one I got from Amazon, and it was super cheap, and I mean, obviously it was cheap, but once I got this one, I realized that the other one wasn't as straight as it could be. Those are typically like laser cut or water jet, like the cheap ones, and these have an actual machined edge on them, so they're actually straight. So if you want to be accurate about this, get a good straight edge. I know they're a little expensive, but lifetime warranty, a good straight edge, you'll use it for lots of stuff. I'll leave a link in the description. If you use that link, it helps out the channel, but just FYI, they're awesome. They come in a couple of different sizes, and yeah, so this is the long guitar scale, which is the 25.5 inch, which is what we're using now. And it also has a completely straight edge on the other side. All right, so now that we've got that set, let's go ahead and fret rocker this and see if we've got any high frets. All right, so if you've not done this before, you'll see that a fret rocker has differing edge lengths, right? So at the beginning of the process, here, let me just walk around this side. The beginning of the process, we're going to use the long side, and we're going to just put it across 3 frets. And what I typically do is I put it top edge of the fret, middle, and bottom. And that kind of gives me 3 zones, and I just see if it rocks. Nope, 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 good. We just keep going. We just keep kind of bridging 3 frets all the way down, and you'll find that now all of a sudden it's going to start getting a little tight. And so we'll go to the next longest edge here. And we just keep going. And if there's any clicky rocking back and forth, we know we've got a high fret. So far, so good. And I have not done a fret dressing or anything on this guitar, so no, this is actually really good. Wow. I mean, to be honest with you, I get a new guitar and I just play it. I don't often, I mean, I'll go through a basic setup on it, but I don't often like really get into it unless there's a problem. And so now we'll get down here where we're using the short side. Kind of losing track of where I'm at here. All right. No, this is good. Fretwork is good. Wow, like way better than I thought. And the polish on them is good. It's really, really nice. The only thing I've done to it string-wise and setup-wise is I just checked the intonation to make sure it would stay in tune for videos and stuff, or you know, be in tune. And I just set the string height and the neck relief, you know, like I do on all guitars. I think we even did a video doing that. But other than that, it's been totally perfect. And wow, the fretwork is a lot better than I thought. One more thing before we get to the tunes, and that is the gig bag. Like I said, obviously people worry about the cost of the guitar, but it comes with this kind of matching special gig bag. And of course it's embroidered and cool, and it's nice. It's actually a nice gig bag. Some of these less expensive gig bags are kind of flimsy, but this is actually for what it is. It's a very nice one, and it matches the guitar and all. So yeah, there you go, with the matching pulls and the embroidery and all that kind of stuff. All right, sounds. All right, let's talk tones. So first of all, we should get right out of the way. The Alnico 5, I think, humbucker that comes in this thing stock is actually really, really good. As far as Squier pickups go, it's actually very good. We have a video on the original release of this guitar, and you can hear a demo of that. Maybe I'll put one of those little gray boxes where you can go back and listen to that. I don't have that pickup in here anymore, so I can't share it with you today. But it's pretty good. But, of course, I'm a pickup guy, so I'm going to continue to fiddle. So here's what I will say. There's a couple of things that I wanted. Because it is a single volume knob guitar with no tone control, I wanted a little more versatility. So what we did was we put one of our Super 8 humbuckers in here, which is basically, it's wound like a vintage PAF, but it has an Alnico 8 magnet in it, and it's just done a little different. And the idea is to have that kind of clarity and sort of the versatility of a low output pickup, but with more punch. So you can kind of be more metal with your pink guitar, or in your case, if you're buying a new one, a white one. So this is kind of what I had in mind, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So when we have the pickup, the guitar at 10, it's just with this kind of twin sort of driven sound. So that's kind of the thing, right? The thing I care about when we do humbucker stuff is clarity. I want you to be able to hear all of the notes, right? So they all individually ring out, and I want you to hear clarity as we play. So even on those low notes, we have some nice clarity there. Now, as we use the volume knob and we turn the thing down a little bit, we get a little bit less drive. And even though you only have one knob, you still get some versatility. Some of the more inexpensive pickups just kind of shut off. They just kind of get quieter. But notice what happens here. As you turn the volume down, it gets more, the drive goes away. It keeps clarity, which is a thing. We don't have any volume mod or any kind of tone bleed on it. And it makes it to where you can just have a bit more versatile. Makes it a lot more touch sensitive. So if you want to pick hard, like this, or less hard, like this, it's just very versatile. And I like that with the idea of having just one pickup and a volume knob. It just gives it a little bit more versatility than the stock pickup. The stock pickup sounded good, but this just makes it much more useful of a tool, in my opinion. And then when you play super gainy stuff with it, because this is a lower-ish wind pickup, but it's got that hotter magnet in it, when we go to the gainy side, there's a real benefit too. See there? You get all the notes, even with tons of gain. So it does all the fun high gain stuff as well as the low gain kind of clean stuff. So it's just a really fun, versatile guitar. And I think since I did that, I've left it completely alone. I haven't touched it except for putting strings on it. And to be honest with you, I play it all the time. I actually, more often than not, this is kind of my living room guitar, and I end up using my little Positive Grid Spark and end up just kind of playing, you know, while I'm watching, you know, racing or something. It ends up being my kind of couch electric, and I absolutely love this thing. So if you're in the market for one of these, definitely get one. They're definitely nice. Yes, they cost a little more, but with everything that you get and all of this stuff, I think they're just really fun. It's just a really fun guitar to have, and I really like the white one, so I think you should go get one. There's a link to it in the description. If you already have one of these things, let me know what you think of it. Do you have the old one? Because remember, it was out a few years ago. Different, you know, kind of issue of it. And let me know if you have one of those too, because those things are worth some money now, which is pretty cool. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. There'll be a link to it in the description. If you have questions about any of this stuff, get in the comments, or you can hit us on the chat on the website if you want to know about the pickup. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you in the next video.